Welcome everybody. Welcome to my very first video on my channel. Today I'm going to show a tutorial on how to make a science door in a lab. So I built this beautiful lab for my attraction world, and I really wanted a door that would open on my command and then scan me for who I am, emit smoke particles, and then it only then wants me to go to the other side. So when I step on this block, these doors will open, and when I walk into the middle, all smoke particles get emitted. So the door is right now checking me, and after checking it will open these doors for me, and then I can safely go through. But if I want to go to the other side, I stand right in front of these blocks, the doors will open and the smoke particles will emit, and then at the moment that it scanned me, these doors will open and I can go through. And if I stay in the middle and these doors will open, it will just teleport me out because I commanded it like that. So in today's video I'm going to show you how to build this door, and yeah, let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to build a platform like this with iron doors, and I prefer iron blocks. So how you can put those iron doors is you stay on these blocks and you will go to the outside to place them. So when you've built this, you're going to place a repeating command block. You're not going to do anything with it yet. You're just going to go to the middle of this block, and then you're going to your chat and you're choosing my position and you copy that. In case if you in chat don't have this interface that you can copy your coordinates, just go to settings, and on the left side we go to creator, and then you click on enable copy coordinates UI. Okay, so now that I have copied my coordinates, I'm going back to this command block and I'm going to type execute positions. I'm going to put the coordinates here, and I say if entity at a opening bracket r equals 0.5 closing bracket. What it is gonna do now, it's gonna check for players that stand right in the middle of this box or 1.5 blocks out of that location. So how I'm going to check this? Well, I just put down a comparator right here, and as you can see, it now does not have any power. But if you're going to stand right here, you will see that the comparator recognizes my position and it will go on. So this is usable for the next chain of commands. What the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in the command block right here, and we are going to build a small pile of 2 on 2 command blocks like so. Once you've done that, place one block in the middle of it so you can copy the coordinates, delete the block, and go to the command block by the comparator. So now what we're going to do is say fill the coordinate and again the coordinate, and instead of 60 we're going to say 59 in my case, and then I type redstone underscore block. So what this is going to do, if I stand right on this place, here will be placed redstone blocks, but I'm not going to do that just yet because I need to get the smoke particles into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at that door and I'm going to copy the position of that door. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to this command block. I'm going to say particle Minecraft, and I'm going to type LLAMA underscore spit underscore smoke, and we're going to put this one on repeat. And so what this is going to do is when I stand on that block, there will be placed redstone blocks right over here, and what it will do is it will make this command block go off, and there will be smoke particles right on that block on the door that I copied the UI of. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to copy this and go to the one above, and I'm going to give it a location. So the location was this door, so I'm copying that, and then I will go back to the command block, and then after the particle command you will give it coordinations. So for the upper one you do the very same, but instead of saying 59 I'm going to say minus 60. So now if I stand here, as you can clearly see now, if I stand here, particles will emit from the ground, and this is exactly what you want. And by the way, right now I see this is a very dumb mistake of mine. Instead of minus 60 I should have said minus 58. My excuses for that. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to the next door, and I'm just going to copy the very same command. So particle Minecraft LLAMA spit underscore smoke and the coordinates, and now I'm going to copy it again. For those of you who wonder how you can copy it, just go to the text that you want to copy, click Ctrl A and Ctrl C, and then you can copy the text. If you do not have a keyboard, I recommend just putting text into the chat and copying it from off your tablet. Or you should type it in an external writer, so you can of course paste and copy the text from over there, because Minecraft is not built to do such. So we're going to say 58 again and put it on repeat. So now there should be more particles coming off from this place. So right now these command blocks are not yet activated, simply because they did not have a block update. So what I'm going to do for now is just delete those redstone blocks, and as you can see is the smoke stops right away. So now we're going to copy the coordinates of this block. I say again particle, oh I'm not allowed to type yet again, particle, oops, those were the coordinates, Minecraft LLAMA underscore spit underscore smoke, and now I give those coordinates and I copy it, so I can do it on the command block above it as well. And instead of the 59, the 58, and putting it on repeat. So now we're going to the very last door, and then the smoke particle section will almost be done. So we're gonna say particle, oh no, just bracket, particle Minecraft LLAMA underscore spit underscore smoke, the coordinates, and I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to the one above and I'm going to say 58, and I should put those both on repeat. So what is going to happen now, if I stand in the middle, there will be smoke everywhere I look if I stand in the middle, and this is exactly what you want. But of course you don't want this to infinitely go on, because you also would have a time limit. So what I suggest you do to not get too much smoke particles and not have multiple times going making this go off, what I recommend is placing a redstone block over here and making this a neat redstone. This is completely optional, you don't need to do this, but I do this for my convenience. Then what I'm going to do is put down a command block, and I'm going to copy the text of the command block in front. And what I'm going to do now is, instead of saying redstone block, I'm going to say air. And I like to do about 5 seconds to make the smoke disappear, and every second in Minecraft Bedrock is 20 ticks, so you should set the delay in ticks on 100. So you set it on chain, and you make sure you set it on always active, because otherwise the chain command block will not work. And I would also suggest, if you would want to make this block disappear, then I would suggest you place a block over here and you copy the coordinates of this redstone block, and now you just say set block the coordinates you just did and then air. But do not forget that if you delete the block and you want it back, that you should also have a command that places the block back. So what we're going to do is I'm going to copy this command and I put it in the very same spot and I say redstone underscore block, and I want it to have a delay of usage again in 1 second. So now if I go in the middle of this, it should stop after 5 seconds, and then also the redstone block should reappear after 1 second, and yes, that is working. So now if I walk into the middle of this, it will scan me with the smoke particles, and now if it stops, yeah, you're scanned. So now we're going on to the other section, and this will be a bit harder section to complete. Also, we are going to make this place not stable, so you're not going to be able to stay in the middle, and of course we're going to achieve that by using a teleport command, but that will come later. So we'll start by the beginning. So first off, we're going to need a repeat command block, and we're going to need this to check if players are standing on this very place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to this side of the block and I'm saying my position and I'm copying that so I can place the repeating command block, and I say yet again execute. Oh no, I'm not allowed to type yet again. Execute positions. I'm giving the coordinations I just copied, and then I say if entity at a with a bracket r equals 0.5. If you do a value that is higher than 0.5, then people on the other side of the door will be able to go back to the door, and then the command will recognize the players also inside the chamber, and of course you won't want that. So I'm putting it on 0.5. You could also put the coordinations a little further back, so you can set it on 1, but I prefer going with the 0.5 radius because it's good for one block and it's very convenient to do it that way. So I'm going to say r equals 0.5. So now it's going to check if players are standing on, oh well, I should place the comparator at a good place. So now if I stay here, oh, it should put it on. I'm gonna put a redstone block behind it because I'm gonna use that way. So now you see that it recognizes me staying here. So the next important thing will be that these doors need to open. Now there are different ways to make these doors open. As you may have noticed in my world, that these doors don't make sound in my world because I don't actually use redstone to open these doors. I use a set block command to make these doors go open, but that is a very hard way to make it happen. So what I recommend is going into this like this. I'm going to dig a little under it so that I can go through, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a redstone block, or a redstone torch, excuse. And with the redstone block, I will be able to, if I do it one higher, to open this door. So I'm also going to do this for the other side, like this and this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this one further out, and I'm going to place a redstone block over here, and then I'm going to grab a redstone dust. Now I'm going to use this to disable the doors from opening when they are not supposed to, so now they're closed. And what I'm going to do is when I use the redstone, when I stand here, that comparator will recognize me, which will send a message so that a redstone block will be placed right over here and right over here, so that these redstone torches will be disabled. And if that happens, then these doors will open. So that is that's what I'm going to show you right now. So first of all, this contraption is for this very place. So I'm going to need one, two redstone blocks for now, but this is only for opening the doors, and of course it's a process that is not done in one time. So I'm going to copy the coordinates of this block under the redstone torch, and I'm going to say set block redstone underscore block. Now you cannot make this an impulse because the redstone could reach it from the um, comparator, but I don't want to risk it. So what I'm going to do is just put it right there, and then I'm going to go to the other block, and I'm also going to copy the coordinates of that one. So I'm going to say set block redstone underscore block. Okay, so what will happen now is if I stand over here, these doors open. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build a mechanic that will allow the doors to close automatically. So what we're gonna do is, I like to make it, if I get into the middle, these doors have a 50 tick or 2.5 seconds to close again. Now you can do this at every rate you want. I like it in the 50 tick radius because it gives you enough time to go inside. So what I'm going to do now is literally copy these command blocks. I'm going to put it in, and instead of saying redstone block, I'm going to type air. And I'm also going to do this for the other one. So once you've done that, now what will happen is, if you go into this, these doors should eventually close because they will recognize my presence. Only thing I see is that it doesn't work yet. Okay, I see. We should not set this to air, I just saw. We need to set it to oak underscore planks, and we set this to oak underscore planks. I'm sorry if I make too many mistakes today. I really try to make this first video a good video, but it's not always that easy. So I now need to place back torches in order to make it work. So now when you go in, it should close. Okay, so that is of course what's supposed to happen. Okay, so what we're going to do now, you're within the contraption and you know that this smoke will last for 5 seconds. So what I'm going to do is, when the smoke disappears, I want to give the player another 1.5 seconds before they are able to go out. So what I'm going to do is place another chain of command blocks, and I'm going to say that I also put this here. Now if you notice, if you put those two side by side, you definitely see that I didn't do it this way. But if we do it side by side, we should of course do this with repeaters, because repeaters only feel feel disturbed by one side. So right now I'm just going to do it like this and like this, and now what it should do is of course open the doors. So now what we're going to do is we're gonna copy the coordinates of these blocks again, because we need those, with set block like that, and then we say redstone underscore block. Man, if people have suggestions for me, for example making a script, I definitely am open for more tips and also for feedback, and also leave some suggestions if you want to know some things about Minecraft. I can make a lot of tutorials because I know a decent amount about Minecraft. So I'm going to set this to we need to calculate first how long the ticks are that we already set here. So we have here 50 ticks, and that 50 ticks of course goes off of the 100 that we already have over here, and the 100 ticks that we use for this, so we now have only 50 ticks left when the smoke leaves and this door closes. So we're going to do 50 plus 30 ticks should be 80. So I'm going to put down here 80 ticks. So when you walk in over here, it opens the doors and it gives you this, and it should, you cannot see it right now, but it should close the doors after just 1.5 seconds after the smoke stops. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the very same commands in the next command blocks, and now instead of redstone blocks we say oak underscore blanks. Honestly, you can use any block type you want. I just prefer oak blanks because it's very neat to look at. So what it should do now is close the doors after just 1 second, and then this last one will be used as the teleport block. So what will happen is I go inside, this will check me, and then once this stops, these doors should close. Well, that is working as intended. You can now make the machine better by just looking at the timings, and I honestly don't like the timing of the opening of the doors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it, instead of 80, I'm going to make it 110 ticks. So you've got some more time on your hands to like look at the particles and it looks a bit more real. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just basically going to get this command, and I'm going to copy that one, and instead of just leaving it like that, I'm going to say run tp at a opening bracket, and we say r equals 0.5 closing bracket, and then we give the position that we want the player to teleport to. So for example, this is the line for just entering on this side, so you would want the player to go to this side if they don't leave this area. So what I'm going to do is stand right on this block, and I'm going to copy the position, and that is what I'm going to put in the command. So if I'm like feeling like I'm a bad boy today, that's not going to happen, because if you stay right here, then what that block will do is just simply teleport you out and you have no way to escape. So yeah, that's a good way to do it. Also, I would like to give the player a bit of feeling like, oh, I'm stuck now, and then it just teleports you out as a savior. And I'm also going to put the y coordinate 1 high, because it teleported me into the block because I still have it set on block position. Okay, so now this side is done, and now we're going to have to look at the other side. Now, luckily for us, it's not that hard to make the other side working, because you can basically just copy a lot of commands from this one, because it's just the same sequence in reverse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this one right here, and I'm going to power it with a redstone button. I'm going to give it a repeater. That's not what I wanted. This is what I want. And what I'm going to do now is just copy the thingy, and instead of the coordinates that I gave right there, you know what, I'm going to type it out just for you guys, so you guys can type it again, for example, if you don't have the time on your hands to do this. So you're going to stand right on the place where you want the player to stand if you want the doors to open. Well, I like it here, so I'm gonna first of all set it on my position and copy the coordinate, I'm going to say execute positions. I give the coordinates and I say if entity at a opening bracket r equals 0.5, then it should realize that if I stand right over here, you will see right now that it will turn on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the impulse, and well, you see the impulse here just gives that this should be a redstone block. So it should be logically that now this one should be the redstone block. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to copy these two. I'm going to put them in here, but instead of, like for this example, going with the 27 on the C coordinate, I'm just gonna put in 26. So I should just do it like this, and then instead of the minus 27, I'm gonna do it like the minus 26. And if you want to do it the other way, go ahead, you're free to do whatever you want, of course, in this game. So I'm gonna do this with the other one as well, putting this in like this, and I'm gonna set this to 26. So now when I stand over here, it should open the doors for me. So that's nice. And what I'm going to do now is just repeat those two, and I'm going to set these to, instead of redstone blocks, oak underscore blanks. And once you've done that, you can now also do it with the other one. Just like that. So now you should have opening and closing doors, and if you put this delay on 50, you should see that if you enter this place, now it should close. So now when I come here, it just opens, and after 2.5 seconds it will close again. So going to the next part, we see here the set block. So we're going to set two more because we of course want this to open and to close, but now we want these two to open and close. So what we can do with that is just yet again copying the very first two, or honestly just these two could also be, but in this case you need the old coordinates. So now you just do this and you copy the second one and you put those commands in here. So what should happen now is when you stand on here, these two doors should open, and I want that just like I did with these after 110 ticks. So I'm gonna put that in, and now of course I also want it to close. So how I'm going to do that is just yet again copying and pasting, just like ChatGPT did to train himself. Oak underscore blanks, and then I need this one for here, and the oak, oops, not on caps lock, let me type Mojang, oak underscore blanks. So now what should happen is you stand here, you can walk into the middle, smoke particles will emit, and then after the smoke particles are done, these doors should open, which did not happen. How did that happen? Okay, so after some research, I just found out that I didn't put any delay on the closing doors. So that's actually very dumb for me, so I apologize. But as it should do now, you just walk into the middle, from the other side, the door will close, and when you go on these smoke particles, then these doors will open. So that's now going as intended, so that's nice. And now we're going to do the very last part, and we're just going to give it the teleport execution command again. So we're going to say copy, and I'm going to give it some new commands to teleport to, because if you came from that side, you want the person that is coming to go to the other side. and in this case it will be right here. So I'm going to copy the coordinates, I'm going to the TP block, and I'm going to give this the new coordinates. Well, so now you can walk in from this side, the doors will open, the smoke will emit, and the other doors will then open. So this is a working door, but if you're using this with multiple players, then of course some things will go wrong, because someone will stand over here and someone will stand over here, and that's not what we need. So what we're going to do is we're going to add two command blocks over here, because what we want to do is we want to delete both of these redstone blocks when a player enters that situation. So what we're going to do is just copying this one, and for my convenience I'm going to fill also this block right here with air, just so that I can fit it in one command. But if you have these two in another situation and you cannot use it with the fill command, just use the set block command and use two instead of one. Just don't make it bad for yourself to get yourself into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say fill this coordinates, and then I'm going to look what changes. So I'm going to give that command that coordination yet again, and then I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to say air, and I'm going to copy that because it's the exact same for the other one. And of course, when the whole thing is over, you of course want the redstone blocks to return back on their place, so you just set this one on chain and always active. Just give it the text you just sent to it, and you say redstone underscore block, and I'm going to copy this one again. And in this case, I of course don't want you to forget to put a delay on this, because otherwise you will be very frustrated if the redstone blocks will stay there because they never returned or never have been deleted because of that. So I'm gonna put it on 160 and I'm gonna set it on 160 delay. So now what's going to happen is if I stand on here, these redstone blocks will disappear, so no one else can activate the machine when you're standing inside of it, and now the blocks reappear, and of course that is a bit too short to use it, so I'm going to set this to 220, so this is usable 220. So now you have a working door that will check who you are, and then once they've checked you, you can go through and the redstone blocks will appear and the next one can use it. So that's basically my tutorial on how to build a lab door. So now you can just fill it in with some more iron blocks, make it a bit more neat. So yeah, I hope I really learned you something this video, and I'm again sorry for my mistakes that I made. I am sure I want to improve my skills, and of course I want to make more tutorial videos on my channel. So please leave a suggestion on how to make something, and maybe if it's a good idea I will make a tutorial on it. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, if you didn't like the video, of course dislike, and bye bye.